Okay, this is Mark at Witty Creative. This video is to show the functionality, give a quick tutorial on the blog. This is ambushpodcast.com, but obviously that's just temporary. This is for Dr. Brenda Connor's site. I wanted to start with, this assumes you already have the login. I know both Brenna and Rawson, you guys have the login to this already. You're both users. I wanted to show you, if you go to this Twitter feed, okay, let's start with this. Where you'll go is your domain / WP admin is all. That's how you log. This is how you log into every WordPress site. Is you go to your domain, and right now it's this, but it's eventually going to be, I think, doctorconnor.com, and it's / WP admin. Once you get there, it's your username and password. If you forget it, you can reset it. Okay, so once you log in, this is your main dashboard. You'll go to this Twitter feeds here, and you want to log in and get an access. Right now it's mine. You want to kind of take this over so you can make your connection to the site and get your Twitter feed working. It's pretty easy. Just sort of follow the steps. So that's the first thing. Okay, so we are going to talk about the blog, and we're going to go here and show you the main blog there. I'm using this Hippo tool, by the way. hippovideo.io to record this. It's kind of on a new test we're doing with it, which got some cool functionality, and I think you might want to use it too. Okay, so this is the main blog page. We just created this one with Rawson on the phone as a test, and this one's in there. I'm going to make all of these. This one says private. I'm going to make this one be private right there. Save it, and I'm going to make this one also be private. Private means only an administrator can see it. So I'm logged in as an administrator. I will, if I go to the blog, I can see all of these. If I open up a private window, I would see nothing. Okay, so third parties can't see this. You have to be logged in. Okay, so I'm going to click on this one and show you what the individual page looks like. So this is kind of the template we created for the individual page. So let's go through, and let's say we were going to start and we're going to create a new post. You go to new post, or if you're in this dashboard here, you can go to posts, new, either way. So let's say we go to new and post, and I'm just going to go right on top of this one. We're going to pick that blog template, and we're going to call this video tutorial. So blog video tutorial, and we're going to use the Divi Builder. You click there. The Divi Builder gives you the ability to see some visual levels of containers, a real easy way to create content. First thing it's going to say is, do you want to start building? Do you want to browse layouts? Do you want to choose a page? We're going to choose a page, and we're going to choose the page that's actually a post that we've already saved. So I can go over here, pre-made, you're saved. No, it's existing pages, but it's actually, let's go ahead and filter for posts, and you'll see there's only a couple, but it's this one, your blog template. So when I pick that, it's going to replace all the content on the page with everything that's in that template. So there is that, there's the section, there's a row, and there's the content for that blog. This section is grayed out because it's turned off, and it says don't edit this section. We may want to use it someday, and we don't talk about it now, but so real quickly, let's let you know that blue and then green and then kind of charcoal. Blue is the section, and it's a container, and everything, it contains all the stuff. The green is the row container, and inside a row, it defines the rows. Inside the rows is the content. So if I wanted to, if I wanted to duplicate this, I could duplicate it, and I could turn this one into a double column. And okay, if I wanted to duplicate this, I can do that and drag it over here. And maybe say I wanted to erase that and turn, if I wanted to add an image, you can add an image. So, and they'll tell you, what image do you want? You can go and add an image from your library. You can upload a new image from your computer. But let's say I just wanted to add some image. Go down and check it there. and add it. And there would be no reason to keep that there. And I'm just going to, well, I'll show you what it looks like. So let's save this as a draft. You don't want to publish a blog right off the bat because if you publish it, it goes live. But you can save it as a draft and just preview it locally as much as you want, or you can actually future date it. If you want to create 3 blogs at once, you can go in and say, all right, I want this one to be visible, publish immediately. I want to schedule it actually. And you can click that edit button and schedule it for, say if it's April, whatever, 15th at whatever time, military time, hit OK. It will schedule it for that date. So you can actually hit schedule, which is different from publish. Okay. I'm going to change this to March and whatever. We'll make it yesterday, 26th. Hit OK. Now it's publish. So I'm going to hit preview so we can see. And again, we're previewing it. That means we're only looking at it locally. And this is what it looks like so far. So that's the name of it, blog video tutorial. That's what it will appear up here once we get into out of preview mode. And you can go in obviously and edit all these things. There's that image and there's that other content. So we don't need that. I'm going to get rid of this whole thing. You will want to add categories. If they're not here, you can click add new category and just type the category in and add it. If you want to add tags, I think I use the example that if the category is pizza, the tags are pepperoni, mushroom, bell pepper. You might only include a tag one time. But we talked about peptides, and you said, yeah, we'll use peptides quite a bit. So peptides deserves its own category, and I'm not sure what the tags would be related to peptides. Okay, so let's add, no tag necessarily, but let's add a featured image. And again, you can pull it from the library, you can pull it from, you can upload it as a file. You will want to make sure, well, I'll tell you, I'll put a featured image in here. I'm gonna guess that your featured image is gonna want to be probably at least maybe 800 or 900 pixels wide. So if you click on this, that's only 400. That's probably too small for your featured image. If it's too big, it's probably okay. But for now, let's see. This one, yeah, 1920. That 1920 is full screen, by the way. It's not going to be full screen, but it's big enough to be full screen if you needed it to. So let's pick that one. I'll add it. It shows up here, and you can guarantee it's going to be big enough. The thing that's important will be making sure that it's not too big in terms of the file size. And with that, it's right here. If you guys want to go to, here's if you have big files that you've downloaded, like for example, here is Unsplash is a good example of a free site. It's mostly kind of European stuff, but if you want to say hurricane and grab a picture of a hurricane, you can download that, and I'll do it, and you'll see that this is going to be a giant file. Show it in the folder right there. That file is almost 5 megabytes. That's 50 times bigger than it needs to be. This should be 100K. So if I downloaded that, I can go over here to this compressor and take that image and just drag it over into this, and you'll see it work its magic from 5.2 megabytes. It's going to shrink it down to, what's it going to be? This is taking a long time, and it usually doesn't, but I'll just show you. If it was this one, well, there you go, 72%. So I can download that, and it went from 5.2 megabytes to only 1.5. That's still too big, but here is the new image modified, to a smaller size. But you can drag that into place and have a much more optimized video image. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see. So excerpt is the thing that will show up. Let's go ahead and jump over here to the main blog. The excerpt is what shows up right there. So if we want to say, like this. I put that in there so you can see the text you type in the exit box will show up on the main blog page. It lets you control the short message and determine exactly what kind of teaser you want to display. So you're controlling that message right here. So I'm going to add that in there. So that's your excerpt. That's how you control what that looks like. The keyword phrase, if this is about why peptides help with immunity, or how, what you put here, you want it to be something that somebody potentially would type into a search box. So now I'm going to say, well, wait a minute. If that's my keyword phrase that I think people are going to be typing, this thing needs to be about that. So I'm going to click there, and the URL needs to be about that too. So I'm going to click there, paste that in there. So now the search engine is starting to say, cool, this page is called that in the title. The page URL is about it. It needs to be listed in here as well. So this shows you how it's going to show up in search. I'm going to edit that snippet, and I'm going to start saying how peptides help with immunity, because you can see it's starting to get bigger. You need to make this big enough till it turns green, because people need a better understanding of the reality of immunity impact and how salad dressing helps with it. So you've got how peptides help with immunity right up front, and Google likes that. It's in your meta description, and that's and it's in we haven't put it in here. I don't know if it matters if you put it in the excerpt. Okay, so so now we need to get it into the content. So let's go and edit your content. You click there to edit it. You can stay in the visual tab. If you need to, you can go to the text tab to see the HTML, so you can see like that block quote and a paragraph and an italicized thing is how this is a block quote, and it's in italics. That's how that controls that. So right here, the let's say how peptides help with immunity, and salad dressing, and then you'd want it to be in the text here, how that, because people need a better understanding of how. So now I'm going to say how peptides help with immunity, and if that can be a link, it's even better. So here also you're going to say contact us to learn more, because you're going to want to have an internal link. So we'll highlight that. We'll go up to links, and you can search and find the actual page. In your case, if I mouse over that, you'll see it's ambushpodcast.com/contact/us. I'm sorry, contact-us. So contact-us is the link we really want. You don't need to put the domain in here. You don't need to put doctorconnor.com/. You can just say /, and it knows the domain. It knows the domain that precedes the /. So it's just going to be contact-us. That's all you need. So I would make that, I like to make those bold and italic so they pop a little more. But now you have an internal link, okay? You also want to have external links. So it could be, see the article on Twitter, and you could say, you highlight that whole thing, and you go in here, and whatever, it's https twitter.com somebody, some article, whatever the URL is on peptides, and you go. So now you're linking externally, italic, bold, and Google likes to see that you're linking. So you just became more of a resource. You have the peptides keyword in there. You have how peptides help with immunity right there. Let's see, how does help with immunity? I'm going to put it in one more spot. This would be you, obviously, legitimately putting it into your copy in different places, but there's an external article link, an internal link. It's in multiple places. It's in your H1. You're starting to optimize this pretty well. And you got a green light because it's saying, cool, you have optimized this pretty well. If we save the draft, it's going to go and kind of refresh it. And it'll tell you how you're doing. And I'm going to show you real quickly this is one of the cool things about Hippo, being able to highlight these kind of things like that. But I'm going to turn that off for now, and we'll keep the animation clip going. Okay, so let's see, readability. It's telling you how your readability is, and let's see, the down here it gives you the SEO analysis, and it'll tell you the things you need to do. The text length, you want to be 300 words, and you're only at 239. You haven't added an alt tag, so the way that would happen would be, let's see, I think I can add it here. That's the image. If you're using it elsewhere, you need to be aware that if you add an alt tag, it's going to be an alt tag for that image no matter where it appears on the site. But you can actually add the alt tag here. I think, yeah. So if it's how peptides. So what you're doing is it's the code inside the image that Google can't really see what this image is. They're getting better at it, but you're having to tell them, well, it's about how peptides help with my immunity. And so you save that. Now they know, like, cool, you got an alt tag in there. The only thing you haven't really done well is the length. It's telling you key phrase length is good. You got it in the introduction. You have an internal link. You have an outbound link. All this other stuff is in good shape. If you don't have something that's in good shape, when you click on this SEO analysis, it'll walk you through it. And you can correct most of them. You don't have to get everything green. You'll have some red. You'll have some orange probably. So don't worry about it too much. Okay, let's see. Classes and tags. You can kind of keep those closed if you want to. If you don't, I should have said this first. If you don't see all these things, like you can open them and close them. But if you don't see some of this stuff, you might need to, this is true at any page of the site, you might need to go to screen options and make sure it's turned on. You don't need to see trackbacks. You don't need to see slug. You probably want to keep on author. You could probably turn these two things off. You know, you definitely want excerpt. You need Yoast. You need the featured image. Categories you need. So check and see if those things are turned on. And I think I already mentioned, if you want to schedule this going forward, you can schedule it. Whatever the date is you put, it will determine the order that these things appear chronologically. I'm going to go ahead and publish this, and it's public, and I think everything else is private. But let's see. Yeah, they're marked as private. So now we'll have one more. Let that finish publishing, and go and hit refresh. I bet it's there. So it should show up here. Wait a minute, let's see. Oh, yeah, it shows up here because this one, it was predated to yesterday. This is one we just did. And it's public. So we're going to make it private. So now we have 4. This is the one you'll want to hang on to. I'm going to probably go in and delete these 2. This one's private. This one's private. This is your block. This is the one you'll use though when you go in and you want to add new content. If you get to this point and you wanted to start all over, or you messed it all up, you can actually go up here and hit this plus sign, load from library, and be very aware though, you're going to overwrite your content if you go to existing pages. See that it's not checked. Replace existing content. If I check that box and I go and I filter for posts and I say, yeah, I want to add the blog, it's going to overwrite it. If I uncheck it, it's going to supplement it. So if you want to supplement it with something like this, like if I click it now, you'll see it's going to basically add a second version. So here's the second version. Okay. We don't need any of that. I'm going to delete all those. And if I haven't made it clear yet, yes, you can make a duplicate of this whole thing. And If you wanted to have a row that had nothing, like if you wanted to have 3 images at the bottom, this is how you do it, you know. Or you could actually, so this is an image there, and I pick something, whatever,
Do you have headphones in?
add it, no. And I duplicate this 2 times. I'm going to get rid of that. There's 3 useless images now in here. So I don't really need a whole new section for that. I can take this green row and drag it up either above that one or below that one. And I just need one section for that. I can get rid of this. If for some reason I wanted to, I'm going to duplicate the whole thing. And I'm going to get rid of this one. And on this one, I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to give this a background color. But first, I'm going to view it in laptop mode. And let's say for some reason we wanted this to have a background color. I would go in here and say background, and I would be wary, you know, be careful about this, but well, there you go. You know, if you wanted to have that kind of pop or give it some structure, give it sort of a framework around it, that's how you would do that. And maybe I'll leave that in there and save it. And that's probably about it.